Theatre in the Valley without Sid Williams, I don't know, probably would have been pretty dull. Local people certainly did know about Sid Williams, but as we're all growing older, I'm sure the history is fading.
Courtney Little Theatre, when I first came to the Valley, they embraced me with open arms. So did Sid Williams. I think Sid Williams was like, the mainstay of original vaudeville kind of theatre.
I did some reading that was put out by the Courtney Museum, and I learned that he came to the Valley when he was 12 years old in 1921, and after a high school performance in 1922, he just couldn't be torn from the stage or the television cameras even.
He was the master of puns. He was a joker. He was very talented. When he had so many different routines, he could put on a whole show by himself. And one of my favorites was he would dress up in a ballet tutu with a little fairy wand, and he did a song about nobody loves a fairy over 40.
I think the most remarkable thing that I saw was his ability to just give. He played roles like Century Sam and Santa Claus.
He would transform himself as well. He had a huge collection of sort of like prosthetic teeth. So he can have big, huge buck teeth or fangs, or he can do all those kinds of things. So just creating that whole new persona.
When I first came to the Valley, this theater was defunct. It was not existing as a theater. It was an auction theater. And the seats were piled high with old furniture and things. And I would sit in at the auction cringing because this could be such a good theater. So it was Sid Williams and many other like-minded citizens from the community who worked and fundraised, and Sid Williams and Mike Butler and others actually hand dug out the pit under the stage there. So the history goes back a long way.
Theater from way back, from Greek tragedies and all that they used theater as information. So you can do it in a comic way, or you can do it in a dramatic way. And so that's how people learned information, because it's easier to visualize it and to get that information rather than just having it in a newspaper or in a book. So he had such a variety of amazing characters, sort of stock characters that he would use. So they were pretty good.
Of course, I think it is very important to acknowledge that there has been people in the Valley that have built the amazing artistic scene that we have. But I was never taught or never considered learning about this. I think also the pandemic has given everyone an opportunity to just kind of come back to where their roots are, and it's given me an opportunity to look at the history of where I've come from and who has come before me.
The coronavirus has impacted everybody's lives. And I feel so sorry for anybody in the arts and in the performing arts, because without an audience, and we cannot have an audience these days, how do you perform? And an audience requires numbers, and we can't gather in large numbers. So it's shut everything down. I don't know how many will be able to survive this. We have rent to pay every month, and if you can't put together a production and charge tickets for it so you have the money to pay your rent, how long can you exist for?
That's a heavy one. That's a heavy one. So when the coronavirus started, I was in heavy rehearsals with Courtney Little Theatre, and we were doing a production of Doubt. And it was fabulous and really action-packed. And what was such a blessing for me, because I work with youth a lot over the years, I was working with adults, so I had 4 strong actors and a huge, amazing production team, and it was just an amazing process. And then we thought postpone. And so we were working on the idea that we would postpone. And then as we got into more weeks, it's like, oh no, we're having to cancel.
My studio, Pantusa Dance, went through Zoom for 5 weeks, and I probably spent about 3 hours, 5 days a week on my computer. So that was different, but it kept us going with the dance part of it. The kind of almost meditative state that comes over me when I'm performing has really made me who I am. I have no choice when I'm on stage. I have no choice other than being in the present moment, and just letting the physical and emotional movement happen. I do rely on performance season to stay sane and to stay seen. So being a live performer right now isn't exactly possible. So I have experienced quite a lot of restlessness at the loss of what really makes me who I am.
Well, we have to have change, because we can't have mass gatherings. And so that we're forced into a change. As a performer, it's a strange concept, because I want to be able to get on the stage, I want to be able to reach my audience, and if my audience is not there.
Name's Maggie. Maggie O'Sullivan. Notice I didn't say Miss or Mrs. Folks wouldn't know me if I did. Oh, now I've probably offended the genteel in the crowd. Well, no matter. I've a story to tell, and I'm no ashamed to tell it.
But as far as live audiences go, it's going to be smaller groups, it's going to be spaced out, and it really requires a lot of creative ways of doing it. And we're still figuring those things out, but it's greatly changed. Theatre as we know it has changed.
How has theatre played a role in my life? All you need to do is ask my kids and my husband and anybody who knows me. It's been a big part of my life, and it has enriched my life in every way. Courtney Little Theatre, that's my home. My husband will tell you that's my home. We accept everybody. We're always open to new ideas. We have a great history of people who've been members and gone on. We practice the joy of theatre.
Dance has played an immensely important role in my life. Being at the studio has brought into my life many different amazing mentors, lifelong friendships, lessons in exploring creativity and discipline as well. Without dance, I would not be nearly as connected to the space and people around me, as well as my own body and emotions.
People are accepted for who they are and what they can contribute, and it becomes a team, it becomes a family, a second family, and when you work together sort of night and day creating this project or this baby, and everyone sort of rallies together, and I think that's always been the best thing.
People in the community can help all performers, theatre or otherwise, by when there's an opportunity to attend the performances, buy a ticket. Okay, I think that's all we can do.
Support the groups. Support the Sid Williams Theatre. Support Courtney Little Theatre, Rainbow Theatre Works. Those are the theatre groups. Three-Legged Dog. In whatever way they can. Meaning, if they are doing any fundraising, if they are doing an event that is online that you might have to pay a little something, go ahead and do that.
And even just putting on like little mini shows in your household or outside for close family and friends, that's a possibility as well. That's a hard question for right now because live performance is so much about the community, so being in the same physical space as other people, and we have lost that. There is no way around it, but we'll get through it and we'll get there again.
If people are happy, for it, then that's it. That's my reward.